Alright, where do I even begin? On this video, we're going to be talking about the changes my turbo, the TB25, has went through since I blew the motor on my turbocharged R18 Honda Civic. Alright, as most of you guys know, we took a base model 2007 Honda Civic LX, took a budget-friendly eBay turbocharger kit, and we turbocharged it. We ran the turbocharger for about 8,000 miles, and it ran pretty flawlessly the entire time. It took a massive beating every single day that I drove that car because I just enjoyed the turbocharger so much. But eventually one day it said enough is enough, and cylinder number 1 rod decided to bend, and we had a really nice knock coming from the motor. Long story short, we ended up rebuilding the motor as budget as we can, and the car is back and running, and we've probably put about 3,000 miles on the car right now, and it's still running perfectly. No overheating, no problems, no knocking. Everything is sealing properly, no coolant contamination, no oil contamination. So I'm pretty dang happy with that repair. But anyway, going back to the turbocharger, the TB25 that I was having, however, that was kind of driving me crazy back then when I was turbocharged, was the smoking issue. I would have a lot of smoke after idling the vehicle for 10-15 minutes. We would have thick, dense, white smoke coming out of the exhaust. And we were trying to figure out what it is. Is it the valve seals? Is it the turbocharger? Is it the piston rings? What can be the problem? And through many compression tests and leak down tests, we determined that everything was good. The only problem I could think of was the turbo. And what seal goes bad on the turbo? The turbo seal. So let's dive in right here and show you guys what I did. First of all, before I even dive into the repair, before I even dive in on the rebuild repair, the compressor housing, you guys can see it somewhere here. Look at, all right, I lost audio on the footage here, but take a look at the compressor housing and check out the logo right here. It says Turbach. What the hell is Turbach? Who the hell made Turbach? Why doesn't it say turbocharger? It just looks like crap. It looks like China made it. And going around this time, I have an idea. We shaved off the CH from the turbo. So now all it says is turbo, and it's going to get ready for paint here shortly. But I thought this was the most appropriate thing to do, and we're going with it. Clip where you can see that oil pouring down the exhaust downpipe. That was after a fresh oil change. So it is definitely leaking, and you can do a lot of things to reduce turbo back pressure or crankcase pressure to help the turbo drain efficiently. There's a lot of things you can do, but we're going to skip all that madness and science behind it, and we're going to focus on replacing the seal. And we're thinking that the seal is bad because once the car was new once the turbocharger was new, there was no smoking. So I'm assuming after wear and tear, about 6,000-7,000 miles, that seal decided to wear and cause leakage. So you can see we picked up a new rebuild kit over here. We got the turbo kit probably somewhere torn apart as I'm overlaying these videos, and we got the whole kit, right? But do I really need to replace the bearings on a turbocharger that ran 7,000-8,000 miles? No, it didn't have turbo shaft play. All the blades on the turbocharger work just fine. There's no nicks in anything. And I just really wanted to focus, for simplicity's sake, replacing that turbo seal. So we took that turbo apart, we replaced that seal with a new seal. We still have all the other parts that we need in case we do a future rebuild on the turbo. But again, for 7,000-8,000 miles, it's definitely not due for a rebuild. This is the turbine seal right over here that gets latched on. This is the old one we just removed. We are replacing it with a brand new turbo seal here, as you can see. And we got a whole rebuild kit, but I'm not going to be using the rebuild kit actually because this cartridge is still very much new, 8,000 miles on it. It just had the smoking issue, which again could have been caused by the turbine seal, or it could have been just caused by having too much oil pressure, which we are fixing by introducing a reducer. Right there we have a reducer, 1/8 NTP to NTP, so it's a 1.5 millimeter reducer. This is my oil T-tap. Oil comes in from here, and I had it set up like that with a 3AN line. As you can see how big that opening is. We're actually introducing a reducer now, 1.5 millimeter reducer, to intercept that right over here, lowering pressure, or at least reducing flow, so hopefully we don't get excess oil coming out of the turbine, bypassing this seal, and hopefully that should fix any smoking issues that we previously encountered. And once we got that turbo situated and all that done, it came to painting that turbo. And originally I did some primer on it and then painted it with Rustoleum yellow. I'm a big fan of yellow, guys, so be in store for more yellow things in the future. I love a yellow car in the future. I think they're just amazing and look sick, but it's got to be the right yellow. Nice, vivid, dark yellow, not that faded yellow like, oh, can't stand those. But we decided to paint that turbocharger with the Rustoleum paint. However, you know, I was kind of happy with it. I kind of wasn't happy with it. I was debating on the durability of the coating with all the high heat temperature going through that engine bay, and just moving and touching the turbo. I didn't want it to get nicked and have problems down the road. So I did spray it. This is probably how it looks like after I sprayed it here, and it looked pretty good for the most part. But while I was filming one video of it, I actually dropped the whole turbo, scratched the hell out of it up. I scratched the hell out of it up. I scratched the hell of it. I dropped the turbo and I scratched it, and I needed to repaint it again, so I sprayed it with more yellow. And at that point I said, you know what, I'm just gonna 2K clear coat it, which we did. We busted out the OG U-Pull 2K clear coat. I'll play you guys videos of that. Alright guys, what's going on? And on today's video we are painting our turbocharger with 2K automotive clear coat. This is a real automotive 2K clear coat, budget oriented. It is a 4:1 mixing ratio with a fast hardener because we want this turbo to dry really quickly. We're using some basic stuff, respirators, probably missing some safety pieces, but that's just how we do it. Not the best idea. A Harbor Freight's $15 HVLP spray gun with a 1.4 millimeter tip, and we sprayed the Rustoleum, actually Rustoleum spray can paint job on the turbocharger just recently. It's been drying for about 2 days, but you know what, this is not gonna last the abuse that the car is gonna see, and it's gonna probably accumulate dirt and grime. And I think sealing it with a 2K automotive K clear coat's gonna seal it up really nicely, protected from all outside contamination, and it's gonna look pretty yellow for a long time. So just eyeballing the mixture 4:1, we're gonna get it in the gun. Hopefully this gun still sprays good. I put acetone in it to clean it out, and I did some test passes. It's a little heavy on the top and bottom, not too linear in the middle, but that's what we got. That's what we're gonna roll with. So let's go. No strainer, just mixing it up raw. We're gonna pour it in and start shooting. And that should be plenty for just this small baby TB25 turbo. So actually, once I put the clear coat in, it's more viscous. It sprays fantastic, nice long line here. So we're gonna get to spraying here. And long story short, the turbocharger came out amazing. One little run on the turbo, but I'm not even worried about it. I'm just worried. I'm just glad I have that extra protection of that 2K clear coat. All those little nicks and dings and dents and whatever, all those things are not going to matter because the 2K clear coat is hardened, it's glossy, it looks great, and it's going to protect that compressor housing from all the obstacles. So towards the end of the video, guys, you can see the finished product right over here. I'm glad you guys like it. If you do like it, hit a thumbs up on the video below. Let me know what color you would have painted your turbo compressor housing down below as well. And I'm happy. Everything's put back together at this point in time. The turbo is pretty much ready to go for another run, right? If we decide to go that way and decide to turbo it again. But aesthetically, it looks good. The function of it looks good. Everything's there. One thing we did improve to reduce the oil smoking issue for a potential second turbo session, we did a oil restrictor on the turbo feed line. We got a 1/8 NTP with a restrictor to another male or female NTP, NPT, whatever it is. I already forgot all these proper terms, but we got a restrictor for the turbo. A lot of people say don't restrict journal bearing turbos, but I mean, I kind of don't want it to leak, and I'm willing to take the hit on the turbo by restricting the oil and potentially having premature breakdown of the turbo. That's something I'm willing to take and risk. And the other thing we're doing to eliminate, what else am I doing to eliminate that problem? Yeah, I think that's it. The new seal, the new turbo seal, is going to help eliminate the smoking problem, and reducing the oil feed in the feed line hopefully will reduce that problem and not cause any more problems. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know again your thoughts on the channel, on the build. How did you guys enjoy the series, whether it's the turbo series or the rebuild series? And if you haven't checked them out, check them out. Also, guys, if you check out the description, there's links and discount codes for some of the websites I'm affiliated with. So if you want to check out those, you can check those out. Follow me on Instagram as well. I post pretty much daily some stories, some inside scoops that you probably see before YouTube. I'm trying to grow that following as well. And that's about it, man. Drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you on the next video.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty